from the very beginning, at different states in a transaction, different people have different rights and privileges to act and create and manage different types of documents, which can either then be taken into the next stage, transferred to other parties, okay, or separately managed outside of our system. That's far beyond just the ability to sign a signature between two people. So today, as I said, DocuSign is our largest partner. They're certainly the premier player in the world in electronic signatures. Their product is, they work hard every day to keep it the best. But when they're talking about moving with digital transferable records, that's our partnership. You can, if you're doing a mortgage, we have joint customers now in mortgage. We're moving into that industry, in lease, solar, security alarm, automotive. And we have 180 customers right now jointly with DocuSign. So we have other partners as well in other types of technology. So that's our relationship with them. They're able to do the contracting piece, but when you get into the negotiable instrument side of it, the transferable record side of it, when you execute those documents in DocuSign, they automatically come into eOriginal, and after they're executed, they're managed in our system throughout their life cycle. We had been monitoring marketplace lending since 2006. So in 2006, there were really only a couple that were Prosper and in Europe. SOPR was truly peer-to-peer, and the purpose of when you think about marketplace lending, marketplace means that there's a creation of a marketplace for those loans. Okay? And it's outside of the traditional funders. It's outside of banks and credit unions and financial institutions. The idea individual people or small companies could go in and actually participate. Then it was so small and nascent, we were monitoring it, but we didn't see it coming to any size. Digital lending, marketplace lending, you can't scale that by going out to individuals. So these marketplace lenders, Lending Club, Prosper, SoFi, Marlette, most of the larger ones, then began to look at, well, where can I get better, more dependable capital that I can churn more quickly? Because these are originating loans. They're not banks. They don't have the money themselves. And so they began to look at getting chunks of money from the Goldman Sachs, and you get 30 million from Citi or this sort of person, another financial institution. And they began to look at private offices, the Bessemer Trusts of the world, and they began to look at union funds, trust funds, and to get larger chunks. But that really still wasn't getting the money quickly enough at the scale and the cost that they wanted to. So when they needed to get out into the secondary market, they needed to get out to be able to securitize these, to lower their cost of capital. And it's so dramatic. Once you're able to get in the securitization market, you can lower your cost of capital to where you can go from unprofitable to profitable if you're in the online origination business. So the first, and so social finance came to us, we went to them. We started getting, our salespeople began to get very familiar now with the players in marketplace lending. It was 2 years ago, it was a very small world. So SoFi in 2014 had done no securitizations. We were able to work with them and map out a process where they were able to very efficiently go through that process of being able to get their assets out in the secondary market. And they did 6 or 7 securitizations in 2015 for a little under $2 billion. That sent a signal to other players in the market that the eOriginal had this capability. So what we saw as we came into beginning of 2016 is a much larger opportunity than eOriginal was going to be able to execute on. We've been looking at this in depth since November of 2014. We're involved in, with tech companies that are utilizing blockchain. We see ourselves partnering with companies that have blockchain, primarily either in what we see the utilization of financial services as more closed system, trust system, blockchain ecosystems within different types of financial services applications, especially in some of the backroom applications. We have a customer which is in the timeshare industry that is looking to be able to use blockchain for monitoring a lot of their financial events and their audits. And they're looking now, how do we capture that information into the eOriginal platform? So we expect over the next year or so that we'll have aspects of blockchain that we'll be leveraging. It's always true in technology. You have a broad concept that will actually have specific applications, and it's the specific applications that are going to be able to be monetized. And that's still to be sorted out, but we certainly intend to be part of that. eOriginal is a platform. It's a small word, but it's very important. eOriginal has the ability to bring different people and different entities and different companies, different roles and responsibilities over the course of a transaction. Let's say a financial transaction, okay? So that's applicable wherever you are in the world. Almost everywhere in the world today, there's some form of legal authorization for electronic contracting. So they're kind of like beyond that. You see this with DocuSign now, opening 6 centers globally around the world. You see this now with Adobe and other players. In 5 years, what's happening in digital lending here in the United States is going to be in a much more of a universal or global state. We're looking at 5 years from now to be more global. That's going to be a slow process because what we have to achieve right now is executing the business that's in front of us. Make sure that what we're doing is scalable from a both business process perspective, technology perspective, and customer service support. One of the things that has enabled eOriginal to be successful is that we have extremely high ratings from our customers in terms of support we provide them. As you grow and scale, you grow by a third, you grow by half, you grow by 100%, over year over year or year over 2 years. Maintaining that quality of service, that quality of delivery is something every company struggles with. So working on that from a domestic perspective first is going to be our goal. But 5 years we see this being as a global platform for digital transaction management, or what we used to call electronic transaction management.